Oh, I was waiting for the others to log in, but that's okay. We are many here. I think this is the most active group from the six I have. You guys are update in technology, yeah?
Teacher, but they all, almost all are here in this room. I'm with you in 3 classes.
In 3 classes, yes. I mean, if you don't like
Yes.
Roberto, you having a hard time and a bad time now, you know. If you don't like me. I mean, that's what people say. I'm not a 2,000 pesos bill, so that means I'm not everybody's gonna like me, right? Do you believe that there is a Dominican person that hates the 2,000 pesos bill? Everybody
I
loves
don't
it.
believe that.
Yeah, everybody loves it. I know. Yeah. Well, guys, today we are here because next week we have a second exam, and the second exam is coming from, hold on. We are going to include,
Hello.
we are going to include 80% of the exam is coming from the last two chapters, which is chapter 4 and chapter 5. So you're gonna focus on those two because 80% is coming from that, and then a 20% is coming from the previous ones, which is general knowledge you're supposed to have, like essential things that you should keep in your head when you finish this subject. If a person asks you about English or where is English coming from, you're supposed to know where English is coming from, right? And you're supposed to know what language is, and you're supposed to know which are the ones who use language, and how many kinds of beings, not red beans or green beans. No, I'm talking about human beings. Okay, you guys are getting confused then. Sorry guys, I like to play it with the language sometimes. English is complicated, you know?
Ay, pero
Yes. So okay, in the last chapter we talked about what? Do you remember the last chapter of this class? I know you remember it was number 4, of course, but what was the content? What did we talk about there? Marlon, Genal.
The backgrounds of English.
The backgrounds of English, right? So basically we focus on the time where English didn't exist, right? Where English was not even present as we know it, and not even as um, people knew it before. And there we saw many things, right? We saw different theories. We saw what was the name of the original language? What was the name of the original language way before English? What was the name of it? See if you guys remember. What was the name of the father or mother language of the Indo-European languages? What was the name of the father of all those languages that emerged? There was one, a principal one. Guys, do you know that when you invent something, when you create something for first time, for example, if I have this pen in here, and this is the first pen of this type, what is the name of the first pen? What is the name of the first thing that you do? The first thing that emerges? What is the name? Oh, you guys don't know about creation. What is a prototype? Who can tell me? What is a prototype? Prototype. What is that? A prototype. Oh, Marlon. Oh, I thought that was from before, Marlon. Yes, go on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It is Proto-Indo-European. I don't know.
Proto-Indo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, think about this. The Indo-European languages, right? But there was a first language. If it was the first language, then it was the Proto-Indo-European language. That was the first one. But from the Proto, many languages emerged. We're not in English yet, okay? We're not in English. Many languages emerged from the Proto-Indo-European language. Do you remember any of those language names? Do you remember at least one? Catherine, can you tell us one?
The Germanic.
The Germanic. Can anyone? Oh, Yandra, can you say another one? Yandra is gone. Okay, Eduviges.
Spanish.
Spanish. Are you sure Spanish came right away from the Proto-Indo-European language?
What? No.
Fabiola, Hector, you have to raise your hand if you want to talk. Fabiola, what do you say? Can you tell us one? Fabiola, one question for you. Where is Spanish coming from?
Spanish, where it's coming from? Italic?
Italic. Okay, very good. Italic. So
this was the word that I'm going to say.
Right. Italic, right? Paniche, can you tell us another one, Junior?
For sure, Anatolian.
Okay. Anatolian. Who says yes and who says no for Anatolian?
Anatolian.
David, what do you say? Do you say yes or do you say no for Anatolian?
I say no.
You say no?
Mm-hmm.
David said no, Junior. Go back and read.
I said yes.
I think so, Russian.
Russian? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Now you are going very far away from that. Okay. So we had Germanic. Okay, let's see what's David saying over there. Yes, David, go on. Oh, David didn't want to say anything.
Perdón, profe, que la niña, usted sabe que estamos para arriba, que la niña gritó. Está bien, dígame ahora.
No, that's okay. I was asking if you wanted to say something.
I think.
No, because I saw you were talking, so I didn't know if you wanted to say something. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, David is gone again. Okay, guys, let's continue then. So, do you remember the Hellenic? Hellenic. Okay, I'm going to show you very quick. I'm going to show you very quick what we saw last week, okay? So here we are. Look at this. Look, take a look. Oh, Jesus, hold on. Okay, take a look at this, all right? We have the Proto, right? We have Hellenic, we have Celtic, we have Italic, we have Balto-Slavic, we have Germanic, and we have Indo-Iranian. You see? These are the main branches. These are the main branches from the Proto-Indo-European language. And then from them, right, we had a whole tree of descendant languages, as you can see here. So don't forget, these are the main ones. Here we go. We get out of there. We get out of there. Now, one question for you, Perla Maciel, are you here?
Yes, teacher.
Where is English coming from? The English language.
We say German, I think so.
Oh, okay. German. I don't want you to get confused with this. German people didn't exist back on there. Okay. Germanic.
German didn't exist.
En Germanic no significa alemán. Los alemanes no existían cuando eso. Eso significa germano. Los germanos.
Ah, Germanic.
So we don't get confused, you know. We are very far away
Sorry.
from the creation of Germany. Very far away. Right. Now, I don't know who studied the chapter 5. Did anyone from here study chapter 5, at least one page or 2 pages? Who did it? Who?
I'm in that now, teacher.
So you didn't. You didn't. Okay, Catherine, you study at least one page, right? So nobody.
To study, look, teacher. Okay, let me tell you. To study, like really focus on that. No, because in my neighbor it's impossible. With the motoconcho, the guagua anunciadora, that is impossible. But I read a few things about it.
Okay, very good, but at least you gave it a look, right? I told you guys, give it a look. I said at least try to read because we're gonna talk about that here, okay? So, all right, very good. Junior, you wanna say something? Sorry.
No, sir, it's okay.
All right. No, I just saw that you had your mute, you know, so I believe that you wanted to say something. But anyways, okay, now, okay. I don't know if you remember, but in the backgrounds of English, that was the starting point to see where English came from, right? And you saw that English didn't belong to England as we know it today, right? What was the name of England before English appeared? What was the name of England before having that name? Don't you remember that the Germanic were invaders? Germanic were invaders and they invaded what? What was the name of that land? What was the name of that country? Perla Maciel.
I made a questionnaire and in the chapter says that they call Saxons.
Oh, but before that, okay, Saxons were the invaders, okay? Those were the invaders. But what is the name of the land that they invaded? That's the question. What was the name of that land? If they were invaders, what was the land that they invaded? The name of the land: Dominican Republic, England, United Kingdom, United States. What was the name of that land, of that country? Angeles.
I don't know if it is, but Britain.
Britain.
Yes.
Britain, okay?
Am I okay?
Yes.
Sorry, by the way, sorry, my internet was dead, so I basically just connect right now.
Okay, all right. So Britain was the name of the land that these Germanic invaders went to, okay? Now, I don't know if you remember that it says that nobody knows the exact place that English came from. I don't know if you remember that. Okay, today we're going to see a little bit more. Mercedes, you want to say something else?
No, I was going to speak about the first question.
The Britain?
I didn't hear right now what you say very well.
Oh, okay. Nanatsu no Taisai, Angeles, huh? I see. Right, you see those cartoons, huh? Those anime, not cartoons, sorry. Okay. Now, let me show you one thing, okay? Let me show you one thing. Hold on. I want you to see this. Let me go here. Okay. I'm going to show you a picture. Okay, here it is. Let me see. Okay, this is one picture. Okay, this is one picture I want to show you. Okay. Now check, let me know if you see the picture because I don't know. Do you see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I want you to tell me what is the sea that you see in there? The ocean.
No,
What's the name of the ocean?
the North Sea.
Oh, okay. You are very active, huh? The North Sea. And in the previous chapters, we learned that the Germanic people came from where? You forgot about it.
Can you please repeat the question?
Where did the Germanic people come from?
Africa.
From Africa. Are you sure?
Yes. I mean, the Proto-Indian, they came from Africa and they developed the language in the west, in the north part and the west part. And they developed to other languages. Teacher, I remember I studied.
Yes, but the question is the following. The Germanic people, the Germanic people came from where?
You see, other person for that.
That's the question. And we said it in the chapter 3. We talk about that I told you about the North Sea, that nobody knew where English came from, the exact place. The only thing that people knew was that English originated in the borders of the North Sea, right? Now, guys, the Germanic people, oh, let me see, someone is writing. I see. The Germanic people came from the borders of the North Sea. What do you see in here? Do you believe that this is the borders, or these are the borders of the North Sea here? Check. Do you believe that these are the borders here?
Yes.
For sure.
Okay. Why we don't say that these are the borders? Because this is what? What
Land.
Land in here? What is the name of this land here?
Britain.
Britain. And the people who lived in Britain will call how?
Britons.
Britons. Okay, so Britons were the people who lived in Britain. Okay, so then we have these people, the Germanic tribes. Do you guys know what a tribe is? Una tribu, right?
Yes.
So these are the Germanic tribes, the Germanic people. The Germanic people have different tribes, and they were called the Jutes, the Angles, the Saxons, and the Frisians. Okay? Now, what happens here? These people were the ones who invaded Britain. These people were the ones who brought English to Britain. Of course, you know what type of English, right? Not the one that we know today, not the one that I'm speaking. It was pretty different. So what happens here? Do you guys see any relation between Angles and Saxons? What is
Yes.
what is the name that comes to your mind when you see Angles and Saxons?
Anglo-Saxon.
Anglo-Saxons.
Anglo-Saxon. Anglo-Saxon. Do you remember when you said that the Anglo-Saxon were the people who invaded Britain?
Yep.
Okay, let me tell you one thing. What happens is that the Jutes, the Angles and the Saxons mainly, were the ones who invaded Britain. But Britons, the people who lived in Britain, they call them Anglo-Saxon, right? Because it was like a combination of Anglo-Saxons. That's why they call it like that, okay? So we see here the routes. These were the routes, the ways that these people used to get to Britain. Now, you need to study, but I'm going to tell you this. It says that these people were invaders, okay? It says that they were invaders, but they were not invaders at the beginning. That's not true. Britons asked for help. Britons told them to go there to help them, okay? That is what the chronicles of the English history says, that Britons asked for help from the Germanic tribes because they were having a problem in their own land. Because remember that before they didn't have countries. What they had was tribes, groups of people that lived in different parts of the island, on this case. Let me see if you guys are understanding what I'm saying, or if you need me to go back and re-explain. I don't know if you are listening to me anyways.
Yes, we are.
We are
Listening.
We are understanding.
In the
Okay.
air.
We are processing the information.
All right,
Yeah.
very good, very good, very nice. So now we're gonna go to before we go to another section, another map that I'm going to show you. Right now we are talking about the 500 before Jesus Christ. Okay, that's the 5th century. That's what we are talking about right now, the 5th century, way back on time. Okay, and in this 5th century, I don't know if you know the Romans. Have you heard about the Romans?
Yes.
The Roman Empire, you heard about that?
Yes.
Who were the Romans? I mean, this is not a question from the class. This is a question from you, according to what you have heard. Who were the Romans?
Invaders.
Invaders of what?
Nations.
Nations, right? So these people, Romans, they invaded almost the whole world. Almost the whole world. When I say the whole world, I'm not talking about, remember that back on that time, nobody knew about the American continent, okay? When we say the whole world, we're talking about the old world as we know it, okay? What we know today as England, United Kingdom, Russia, Africa, Asia, you know, all those places. So the Roman Empire invaded almost the whole world. That's what we can say. So the Romans came from where? From where?
From Italy.
From Italy. Very good. Very good. And you see the coincidence that Spanish came from the Italic and Italy was the place of these people, Romans? And the Latin comes from there and then Spanish. I'm just gonna drive you crazy with this.
Makes sense, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
I'm just gonna get you crazy. But okay. So now what happened here? The Romans in the before the 5th century, in the 400, in the 300, Romans invaded Britain. Okay, so they had control here in Britain. They control all this place here. But what happened? There was a time in around 500, almost 600, when they decided to leave, to abandon this place, okay? And now I'm going to show you what happened, all right? Romans had the habit of implementing their language, their customs, their habits, to the land that they conquered, okay? So we should know that. Let me just get out of here, and I'm gonna get another picture. This is a better picture, okay? And this picture, the picture that I show you right now, that was a picture from the 400, around the 400, the 4th century. And now I'm going to show you a picture from the 500, 550. Hold on. So we are gonna jump on time 100 years. You see how good it is to study history?
Interesting.
Now let me show you this. Let me show you this picture now. Do you recognize this land? What is the name of this land in here? Of this country? What is the name?
The same Britain.
America.
Britain.
Britain, right? Britain. Okay, we are in Britain here. Now, I want you to see something. In Britain, there were three tribes, okay? 3 tribes. Sorry, guys, my internet is killing me here. And the tribes that, what's the word? That lived there were the Britons, okay? You see, Britons. We also have the Scots, and we have the Picts. So we had 3 different tribes living here, 3 different type of people. We have Britons, Scots, and Picts. What happens is the following. In this time, Romans were there, but Romans were about to leave. They were leaving the place, okay? So what happened here was that Romans had the Scots and the Picts under control. As you can see the distance from Britons to Scots and Picts, you see? So Romans had these people under control. But when Romans started leaving Britain, you know what happened? Scots and Picts started bothering Britons. And when I say bothering, you know that it's not bothering, right? It's killing people, stealing, killing, and trying to get control in the whole land, country. So what happened here? What Britain, yeah, put it on. Pay attention to this, guys. We have exam next week. What Britons did was, oh God, someone is, hold on.
Micrófono, gente.
Yeah, the micro, right? Microphone. Okay, I'm almost getting out of this image, so pay attention to the last part. When Britons felt threatened by these people, what they did was that they asked for help. They asked for help. Who do you think that they asked for help? To whom?
To the Angles and Jutes and Saxons.
To the invaders.
Yes. What was the name of all these tribes? The name for all of them?
Anglo-Saxon. No?
Are you sure? That's the name. That's the name that Britain gave them.
Britain.
Germanic.
Germanic. Guys, don't get confused.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going slow. Look, Britons were the original people who lived in Britain. So when the Roman Empire decided to leave Britain, the Picts and the Scots started bothering Britons, who were the original ones there. So Britons asked for help to the closest people to them. And the closest people were the Germanic tribes. And the Germanic tribes were the Anglo, the Saxons, the Jutes, you know, the Frisians, and they asked for help. So these people came to Britain, okay? They came to Britain and see what happened. You see the places here where they went. The Angles came here, the Jutes came here, and we have the Saxons here. The Saxons, they divided into two, the East Saxons and the West Saxons, okay? But check what happened. Check what happened. The Britons asked for help to these people. They came to their land, all right? And you know what happened? When they put the Picts and the Scots under control, guess what happened? Can anybody tell me? What do you think that happened after the Anglo-Saxon? The Anglo-Saxon doesn't refer only to the Angles and the Saxons. This refers to the Germanic tribes that were Angles, Jutes, Saxons, and Frisians, okay? So pay attention to that. What do you think it happened when the Anglo-Saxon controlled the Scots and the Picts? Catherine?
Or they were like slaves, or they were killed.
Oh, are you sure? Remember that the Angles, the Germanic tribes, were strong people because the Britons couldn't control the Picts and the Scots. So when they came, they controlled all these people. And you know what they did? They were supposed to leave Britain because the Britons asked a favor to them. And they said that they were not leaving, and they took control all over the whole country. That's what they did. They didn't leave. They stayed there. And instead of leaving, you know what they did? They got into communication with the other, with their tribes, with their country, right? And they informed those people about the richness of the land, about the resources that they were in Britain, and more people came to Britain. Did you get that, guys? Let me know if you heard what I said.
Yes, we got it.
Britain asked for help to the Anglo and the Jews, and after they helped them, they stayed and they took control all over them.
That's right. Okay. And not even that, they also sent messages to the chief people in their land to let them know that this was a good land, that there were resources, there was water, there was whatever, everything, and that they had to stay there. And see what happened next. See what happened next. Hold on. Let me show you the other map. Remember that we were talking about 500, okay, the 5th century. The first picture was in the 400, which is the 4th century. This picture that I just showed you was from the 5th century. That's the 500, okay? Remember that 100 years is a century. Okay, now I'm going to show you a picture from the 700, okay? So that's when the Germanic people already, these Germanic people already settled into the land, and they started dividing the land for themselves, right? And see what happened here now. Give me a second, I don't see it. Okay, here it is. Okay. Now one question, what is this land? What was the original land here? See if you guys are paying attention. Do you recognize this map in here? This picture, this land, do you recognize it?
Britain.
It's the same, teacher.
Britain. Okay, but this is Britain. This is Britain 200 years after where we were.
Yes.
Okay, so remember that we are traveling in time. This is 200 years after. What happens 200 years after? Well, the Germanic invaders, they settled themselves here. They conquered everything, and this was their land now. And what they did was that they created 7 kingdoms. 7 kingdoms they created. So we have Mercia. This was one kingdom. We have Northumbria, okay? Bernicia and Deira, they got together and they gave birth to this name, Northumbria, okay? And so we have Northumbria, we have Mercia, we have East Anglia, that's 3. We have Essex, that's 4. We have Wessex, that's 5. We have Sussex, we have Kent. These are the kingdoms, okay? And this is in the 7th century, as you can see. The 7th century is the 700, okay? So this is what the Germanic tribes did. They moved from where they were and they created this kingdom here in this place. When I say they moved from where they were, I'm not saying that they abandoned their land. What they did is that many people came here and they had their own kingdoms in here, you see? And that's what it is. We travel on time around how many years? 400, 500 years we here. And that's it. That's it. Now, I have a recommendation for you. I have a recommendation that I want to show you as well. And you're going to like this. Now that you know this short history piece, you're going to like this series that I'm going to show you. There are 2 TV series that you should watch. And this is closely related to the history of English and the history of the kingdoms. And these are, hold on. Where is it? Okay, give me a second. I'm going to show you. Maybe you have seen it in Netflix. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But let me show it to you. One is, this is a small picture, okay? This one is very small. This one is Vikings, okay? Vikings.
Yeah.
This series is closely related to the invaders and Vikings. You will see that Vikings actually were the Germanic tribes. These people were Germanic tribes, but they were called Vikings. You know when? I'm gonna tell you when they will call Vikings. So the first Germanic tribes came to Britain and they stayed there and they created their kingdoms, right? So they were there quiet. They were not killers anymore. They were not invaders anymore because they stayed there. But there were people from the tribes, from their own tribes, right? But remember, that's 100 years past already. Then these tribes came again, came to Britain, which is not Britain anymore because they had different names in different kingdoms, right? And they tried to invade these people again. So these are the Vikings. I know it's a lot of history. I got excited, but just to give you an idea. And there is another one, okay? There is another one. And this one, the other TV series, is related to the 7 kingdoms, that they found there. And the name is The Last Kingdom.
I love it, this series, teacher, honestly.
Yes. Now, if you love this series, now you will see that this is closely related to the 7 kingdom that we are talking. You will see that they talk about Wessex, about Essex, about Northumbria.
Wessex, yeah.
And this guy,
yeah.
Uhtred, Uhtred, the guy that you see in the picture, he is from Northumbria.
Yeah.
The Game of Thrones.
And that's it.
Uhtred Ragnarsson.
Yes, and Ragnarok. That's another last name. Was a Viking, and if you see the series Viking, you will see who he was. So this is very enriching if you have the chance to watch those series, because now that you're studying the history of English language, you will say, oh, I see now, this is Wessex, this is Essex, these people were from the Roman Empire, then they left, and now these Viking came, etc., etc., etc. But we're gonna see that on time. Now, just to finish, I have to tell you that within this time that we have been talking about, within this time that these people created the 7 kingdom, that these people asked for help, and then the tribes came, you know, all these, on this period, the language that all these people spoke is what we call the Old English. So the Old English was the language that they spoke there. The Anglo-Saxon language, right? That was the Old English. Anglo-Saxon is a term that is used not only for the language, but also for the people, okay? The people, the Germanic tribes that came from there, that settled in Britain, they were called Anglo-Saxon, as you have said before, but Anglo-Saxon doesn't only refer to the people, but also to the language. And the Anglo-Saxon language is what we know as old as young, and Old English. And that's it. That's the name of the chapter. The Old English period. And that is the period of the Old English that I have explained to you. Now, let me know if you have a question. I know that some of you are bored because not everybody likes history. But anyways, you will have to read it, right? But it's good to know. It's good to know. So ask now if you have a question. If you have no questions, then we finish. Yes.
Is there any animation? Is there any cartoon or animation about all the things you have said?
Well, animation
version, please. Cartoon version.
I don't know if there's cartoon version there.
And that's what I say.
Teacher.
Yes.
And next week we have the
exam, and the exam. Okay, the first exam we gave it in Edmodo. I'm going to try to give the exam in the OEM platform. I'm going to try to do that. But if it doesn't work, I mean, I'm gonna let you know like 2 days before, of course, if we're gonna take it in the OEM platform or if we're gonna take it in Edmodo, right? So don't worry about that. And make sure that you study, because there's a lot of information. Look, the information that I just gave you is half of the chapter that I believe is the most important, because then in the chapter you will see a list of things like the beginning of English, the variation in consonants, in vowels, in combinations, etc., etc. which I believe is not that important. I believe that history is the most important now. There is a lot of information and you won't be able to digest all that. Go on. Rosa, you have a question too?
No, teacher, no.
Okay. So if you have no questions, let me take 2-3 minutes of my time so we can do a little review with you. Diana, I have a question for you. What was the name? Oh, yes, yeah, right. You don't like OEM platform. That's right. I don't like it either, you know? So Diana, I have a question for you. What was the name of the Germanic invaders when they settled in Britain? Settle means establish, when they established themselves in Britain. How did Britons call them?
How they?
Yes.
I don't remember.
That's okay, don't worry. Osiris, what was their name?
Anglo-Saxon.
Anglo-Saxons. Anglo-Saxon was the name for the Germanic invaders when they established themselves in Britain. Right. Another question. Why was it that Britons, remember Britons, people who lived in Britain, why was that Britons asked for help to the Germanic tribes? Why?
Repeat the question, teacher, please.
Why did Britons ask for help to the Germanic tribes?
Can I say this? Can I say that?
Yes, go on.
Because the Picts and the Scots steal and kill the person from kingdom.
You see?
From Britons.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And one question, if before the Picts didn't kill or bother Britons, what happened that they changed their ways of acting? What was the event that made the Picts attack the Britons? And why didn't they attack them before?
Can I say that?
Hold on, Osiris. I see you like this subject.
I think because the Romans empires. No, the Romans
Empire
were the Roman Empire were in Picts and Scot, and they live Britons.
You're right. So the Roman Empire started leaving Britain, and when the Picts and Scots saw this, they wanted to take control all over the land. That's true. Osiris, you have a photographic memory because you remember everything.
I like history. He's using cat.
Right. I see. Well, that's it. Very good. Make sure that you guys study. But before I go, I have a question for you, Rosa. You're not leaving empty, as we say. In what century, Rosa, what century was that Britons asked for help to the Germanic tribes?
I don't know, teacher.
You don't know. Okay. What about, okay, Mr. Dictionary, go on.
Sorry, wait,
Okay.
teacher, wait.
Yes.
I think it was in, let me check my computer. I did it.
Okay.
That question. I think it was in this one here. In 7. Sorry. Okay, it's okay, teacher. No.
No. Okay.
Around 7:30.
7:30 p.m. or a.m. Sorry, I'm just kidding. Why are you laughing, Evelyn? Eh? Why are you laughing? Yes. Okay. What about you, Osiris? Do you remember? What was the
Yes,
oh.
they asked for her in the 4th century.
In the 4th century. If it was in the 4th century, I'm getting twisted here. Century, I'm saying. Century. Kind of funny. So the 4th century, what year was that, Evelyn? If we say the 4th century, what year is that?
Sorry, teacher?
If I say that was in the 4th century, in what year am I talking about?
The 400.
The 400? Yeah, very good. Very good. Now, Myrani, I have a question for you. We have 2 more questions and we finish for real. Not 2 more questions. This one and another one. Myrani, one question for you. I'm thinking, okay? Give me just 1 second. I'm thinking.
Ha, 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 ha.
Yes. Yes. In what year or century were the kingdoms founded in Britain? The 7 kingdoms. What was the century or the year?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't remember, I see. Okay, so then we're gonna give the chance to you're not raising your hand, Rosa. Samuel has his
teacher.
Yes, go on, Samuel.
I think it was in the 10th century, right?
In the 10th century? That is wrong. Let's see if what do you say? Fabiola is always having problem with the audio.
Oh, no, I didn't listen to you. 7th century?
In the 7th century, which was the 700.
Come on.
It's true.
Yeah.
And that's it. We finished.
Yeah, teacher, because before you said that we were in the 400 and something, but then we switched to another section.
To the 550, yes.
Yeah, and then you said 200 years after.
200 years after.
Adiels is disappointed.
No.
I was confused. I was forgetting.
Don't worry, that's fine. That's good. Fine. Listen, Sadiel, you just went ahead 300 years. That's nothing.
Exactly.
That's nothing.
Right? That's it. All right, guys, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow in the other classes. So make sure that you study this whole week for history. I know you're gonna get good grades because this is pretty easy and the majority of you like to study. So I will see you later.
Okay.
Okay. See ya.
All right.